Welcome to MAT 2LB, booklet number 6, Checks and Banking, lesson number 2, Writing a Check. It seems a little odd to be starting on lesson number 2. Lesson number 1, well, I didn't really have a lot to teach you. It was sort of a vocabulary treasure hunt using the internet to help us get some of the vocabulary down that we're going to be using when we talk about checks and banking. So there wasn't really a lot for me there, so I'll let you do that one on your own like a worksheet. Lesson number 2, however, and there's more information I can provide you directly about writing a check. So check, one of the interesting things about check is that you'll notice here how we spell it in Canada with the Cheques. In the United States and other places in the world, they opt for the more regular looking checks, Checks. We're going to try to, as much as we can, stick with our Canadian version, Cheques. But just so you know, they both mean the same thing, which is essentially, if you look down the page a little bit, you see sort of a little mock version of a check that I put together. What it does, it tells your bank how much money to move and where to move it and when to move it from which particular account of yours. Lots of information happening on there, and we have to make sure that we're filling them out correctly so that the bank is getting all of that relevant information and can verify that it's you, in fact, who is writing this check and not somebody else writing checks from your account. So let's have a look at this little blurb right underneath where I've started highlighting. There's 6 things you need to write on a check for them to get the job done that they need to get done. And the first is the date of payment. The second is the name of the recipient of the payment. Third is the amount of the payment in words. The fourth is the amount of the payment in numbers. The fifth, the memo explaining the purpose of the payment. That one's sort of optional, but we're going to at least practice it today. And your signature, which is not optional at all. It's absolutely mandatory. So let's jump to example number 1, and we'll practice filling in these 6 pieces of information on a check. So example number 1. On September 22nd, 2012, you pay for groceries from Zehrs with a check for $95.14. So the first thing we're going to fill out is the date. And the date of this check is September 22nd. September 22nd, 2012. And again, this lets the bank know on what day you wanted or anticipated this transaction happening. So that's the first one. Date of the payment. Got it. Number 2, name of the recipient of the payment. So in this case, that's who the money is going to be transferred to. In this case, it's going to be transferred to Zehrs. So you'll see here in the check, it says pay to the order of. That's like, who is this money going to go to? And we are going to fill in Zehrs, the recipient of the money. All right, so that's the recipient of the payment. There we go. Now we're going to write the amount of the payment in words. Now the reason they have you write the amount of the payment both in words and in numbers is to verify. It's sort of their way of checking that you mean to transfer the sum that you mean to transfer. So we are looking for $95.14. So here's how we're going to write it. On the line right here, we're going to write $94. Now when we get to the cents part, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a horizontal line all the way over to the end. And then we're going to fill in however much change we have out of 100. Because we know back from all the way in Unit 1 that there are 100 pennies in $1. So we're going to write the cents all the way down here at the end as a number of cents out of 100. So this is $95.14. So over here we're going to write 14 cents out of 100 possible pennies. And that takes care of the amount of payment in words. Let's get a look at that. We're looking good so far. The next, that box just up above over here is where we write down the amount of the check in numbers. We write down $95.14. And as I said before, that's sort of a double check to ensure that the words you've written match the numbers that you've written. Memo explaining the purpose of the payment is number 5. So the memo is down here in the bottom left corner. And we don't have to be too particular about this. We can just write down groceries. Just it's some little indication to you, a bit of a reminder as to what was that $95.14 for? It was for groceries. And that's number 5. Check mark there. And last but not least, your signature. Now I'm going to sign this with my signature. You guys can sign this with your own signature. So we'll just put my signature on there. For those of you who don't have a signature, you can just sort of scribble your name and that will suffice for a signature, I think. Okay, so again, just a quick review. If you sort of look at the shape of the check, we're pretty much working our way down from the top to the bottom, starting with the date, who gets the money, Then we're going to fill in how much money in words, how much money in numbers, a little memo just to sort of give you a reminder about what the check was written for, and then your signature. So that was example 1. What I'd like you to do here is hit pause and complete example number 2 on your own. So fill it out. Again, look back at the other example if you need some assistance. So I'd like you to hit pause now and come on back when you're done and we'll see how you did. Okay, let's get a look at example number 2. On January 1st, 2013, you pay rent from Hallman Properties with a check for $745.62. All right, starts off with a date. Now I'm going to show you a slightly different way to write the date this time. Sometimes you can write the date by writing the actual day. So that's going to be 1 with a slash, and then the month, which is the first month of the year, which is January, followed by the year, which is 2013. There's a slightly different way you might see the date written. You can write down January 1st, 2013 rather, and that's fine too. Next, we're going to talk about who is going to be the recipient of this, and that is Hallman Properties. So we write that here in the pay to the order of Hallman Properties. The people who will be receiving your rent check. Next thing is the amount written in words. So we are going to write down 700. And for long ones like this, you might want to try to write small. 700 and I think it was 45. Yep, $45. And again, now that we're at the end of the dollars, we have 62 cents to get in. I'm going to draw that horizontal line over, and then right at the end of the line, 62 cents out of 100. That'll work. I'll try to make that look a little more like a 6. There we go. In the box now, we write down same amount, but this time using numbers, so $745.62. That looks right to me. And now a quick little memo. So you might want to say something like rent. And if you really wanted to be specific, you could put down, the January rent, just so you remember. And now, of course, the signature, which I'll put in again, and yours will be a little bit different than mine, but that'll be okay. Which brings us to the end of lesson number 2. By all means, have a look back through these to practice filling out checks. When you're feeling good, head over to the worksheet. After that, I'll see you in lesson number 3.